What's up everyone, it's Naja and you're now tuned in to Our Music is Ours. Today is the first ever episode of the Who Is series, formerly known as the Artist SWAT, and today we're going to be learning who is Lucky Daye. Lucky Daye is one of the most promising new artists out. Though primarily R&B and neo-soul, he's not to be confined in a box, as his sound incorporates elements from various genres and inspiration from both the past and the present. This year, he released his debut album, Painted, in May. Majority of the songs his fans were already familiar with since they were on his past EPs 1 and 2. Personally, I didn't get why he did this because it felt like a missed opportunity for him to further build out his catalog with fresh material. In my mind, it would have made more sense for him to market his EPs by going on tour and kind of doing exactly what he did this year, just without releasing the album, and then coming out with an album that had like all fresh material on it. His reasoning behind this was based on some advice that Nicki Minaj gave him, which was to give the fans the project in doses, because he felt like it would be too much for him to come off the rip with a full-length project. He also felt like his sound and the fact that he wasn't following trends would make his project less palpable. He felt he could allow listeners to become accustomed to his sound by releasing it in pieces.
What does Painted mean to you, and how do you define that? Why did you come up with this title?
Because it's like a messy wall of emotions, and I literally felt like it was too much to put out at one time.
Nonetheless, Painted is a brilliant project and one of the best albums released this year.
Nothing left to say, period.
He's one of the few artists that really touch me with their music. I know that a new artist is great when I start crying while listening to their project, because I'm so overwhelmed by their lyricism and musicality. I can first remember having this experience while listening to Frank Ocean's American Wedding and subsequently Anderson .Paak's The Dreamer. I had the same experience while listening to Daye. His vulnerability and ability to express himself through his lyrics and vocals are unmatched. Lucky is for sure one to watch. Listening to his album made me want to know more about him and what shaped him into the artist he is today. Lucky was born David DeBrandon Brown on September 25th, 1985 in New Orleans, Louisiana. I am in complete awe that he is a whole 34 because he doesn't look it, but I digress. He was raised by a single mom with multiple siblings, all brothers, I believe. He grew up in a family of singers. He was born in a cult. He never disclosed the name of the church, but the leader was charged on multiple counts of child molestation. In this cult, he was forbidden to listen to music, watch TV. He would be punished for the most mundane things like not finishing his food. So essentially, aside from school, he was cut off from the secular world. A turning point for Lucky happened when he was 8 years old, and the leader told him that when Lucky's father died, he was going to take him to the park, which he didn't know at the time was a promise to commit an act of sexual abuse against him. After that, his mom left, and I'm glad she did, because many parents, I feel like in that situation, and even outside of that situation, might have turned a blind eye to this because it came from somebody who they revered, but she didn't, so I think that much respect is due to her. In retrospect, Lucky views his experience in the cult as teaching him creativity because due to his lack of access to recorded music, he would make songs from Bible verses and children's books. Once he left, a whole new world opened up, starting with a visit to his fathers, who played the Gap bands early in the morning. This was the first record on wax that he had ever heard, and from there, his curiosity with music continued, and instead of going forward, he went backward because he felt like he was behind compared to others when it came to music. He was so committed to broadening his music horizons that he paid zero attention to artists. So there's tons of songs that have inspired him and his sound, but he couldn't tell you who made them, though he cites Rick James as being a massive inspiration.
I'm Rick James.
In middle school is when he realized his gift was unique to him. He grew up thinking everybody could sing because of the fact that everyone in his family sung, but when he realized that girls would pay him and not others, and that this might be something for him to do as a career. So early 2005, he competed on American Idol.
Why do you want to do this? Come on, you don't need this trouble in your life. You know, singers get picked on all the time.
I follow my heart, and this is what my heart is right now.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, take your time and just give it to us.
It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the skies. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Wow.
Wow.
That's the best I have heard since we've been doing this the 4th season. That was really, really, really good.
And then shortly after that, Katrina occurred, and his family, like so many others, were forced to relocate. And so his family moved to Tyler, Texas, and though by that time they were far removed from the cult, his mom and family were still deeply religious. For example, he wasn't allowed to watch TV until like 5 years after them leaving the cult. And so while in Texas, he sung in his uncle's church's choir, which he liked but soon became exhausted by. And one day he made an announcement, I believe in church, that he wanted to sing but not in the choir. Not religious music, and after that they excommunicated him, and he hadn't spoken with them until this year when his album came out. So after making that announcement, he moved to Atlanta, where he said he learned commercialism. There he was trying to be something he wasn't in order to be mainstream, like cursing in songs. He did some songwriting and background vocals for Trey Songz, Neo, Boyz II Men, and Mary J. Blige. He also had a daughter around this time, but he doesn't really discuss her, so I'm not really going to go into that. And so, unsatisfied with his time in Atlanta, he drove 36 hours straight to Los Angeles. There he had a really rough time, but he credits it as being a place where he found himself. He came up with his current moniker there upon learning the meaning of lucky, which is where preparation meets opportunity. And from growing up, he was taught that luck was a bad thing. He didn't know that there was a good side to luck, because that was something that something that was forbidden in the cult that he was in, to discuss luck and things of that nature. And so he wanted to embrace readiness every single day, which is why he added on the day to the end of his name. And then he later added an E as an ode to Marvin Gaye, who had similar religious struggle as him. LA is also where he got baptized and read the Bible from beginning to end with a clean slate. LA is also the place that pushed him to his wits' end, where he reached the point where he was completely down on his luck. Out of everything, money, food, friends, communication, and a home, he was ready to go, but he decided to do one more thing before he finally called it quits, which was to produce the album that he would make if he were to be signed. And so after lots of rejection and sabotage, he reconnected with the most sincere producer he had met, D-Mal, who has produced hits for everyone from Usher to Her, and they began working. And over time, D-Mal started to take him more seriously. One, I think because they genuinely connected, and two, because he saw how serious Daye was. Daye would come to the studio sessions with pretty much everything done with the songs. He would have the concept, the writing, like everything done, with the songs only needing like finishing touches. He was also busing for 90 minutes from San Pedro to Los Angeles, and so they recorded 15 songs over a 9-month span, and 13 of them made the album. So the album is pretty much entirely produced by D-Mal. He did reproduce some songs that Lucky had made with Camper that were mysteriously lost. And so when it came time to shop the record, he aligned with Keep Cool founder Tunji Logan, who signed him, and he felt like they really believed in him. And from there, it's only been up for Lucky, who has toured with LMI, performed at his first Essence Festival, marking either his first or second time performing in his city. He's released 2 EPs and his debut album, which we previously discussed. He's headlined his own national and international tour with multiple sold-out dates, and also opened on some spot dates for Khalid. And he's also become Grammy-nominated. In fact, multi-Grammy-nominated. He's up for 4 awards, and boy, do we hope he wins one. This is Lucky. So that is it. I hope that this overview will push you to want to dive deep and explore his catalog and just learn more about him. Please leave your thoughts and your comments below. Thanks.